Have you ever been to a zoo and enjoyed seeing animals you have never seen before on exhibit? Today, I'm going to be talking to you all about how zoos are ruining the life of animals who may or may not be going extinct. Zoos are known for helping animals get back on track so they can hopefully return to their natural habitats. However, that is not the case. Most zoo animals who enter the zoo, never see the outside of their enclosure again. That is why I am here today to persuade you why we should not support the zoo life. I am credible to speak upon this topic because I care for all animals, and I am a very lovable animal person. I care for their life and their safety through many organizations that are supporting for their life. All animals should be respected in their natural habitat while getting treatment. Just because animals need treatment doesn't mean we need to keep them locked up on display for all entertainment for humans. So why do we still accept these social norms? Should it be a norm at all? First, today I will be discussing how injured animals are taken from the wild and are being kept in a captivity at zoos. Second, I will explain that zoos are suffering in insufficient living spaces. And lastly, I will discuss other options for zoo animals kept in captivity. Do you ever wonder why we have animals on display in the first place? Do you remember going on that field trip with your class and seeing these poor animals that are injured or need to be at the zoo to get better? Many animals are taken from their wildlife every day. Most animals that are injured will be taken from the wild and kept on display at zoos to rehabilitate so they can be set free later on. However, most zoos don't have animals that are endangered. It makes no sense to keep an animal behind glass for someone's entertainment instead of an open pasture. According to PETA.com Access on April 16th, 2020, it states, zoos aren't breeding animals with the intent of replenishing threatened populations. Babies that are born in these zoos bring the visitors through the gates, and captive breeding gives the public a false sense of security about survival. The breeding isn't helping animals who are kept in zoos because they die due to birth defects or malnutrition. Animals who are injured are most likely never to see the outside again and are used for repopulation. But is it really helping their mental state? Animals are taken every day from the habitat, maybe due to hunters, circuses, or illegal selling of exotic animals. Animals are still taken from the wild. Written by PETA, shows a study that 79% of all animals in the UK aquariums were caught in the wild as recently as 2013, but refused to provide information on how many of the animals held by them were wild caught. They were taken for the entertainment and research. When places like zoos and research labs don't explain why they're captured these creatures or what they're trying to do to help them make them better, it creates a lot of suspicion. But we never question it because it's the norm that we're used to. So pretty soon here, we won't see these majestic, beautiful creatures because there won't be any left to take from the wild. So with that being said, animals deserve to be in the wild, not kept in small cages. Animals brought into the zoo are suffering in the new or brought homes, and that they are not getting their rights sufficient living spaces that they need to survive. Whether an animal is being brought or is being born there in the zoos, they are receiving 10 times more smaller homes than they had before. Animals who are brought into the zoo experience anxiety and depression as much as humans feel. It is hard to watch an animal in small enclosures walking in circles all day being fed by the hand. According to Meyer's article, Tigers, the most majestic cats in the world, accessed on April 16th, 2020, state tigers and zoos get half of what they normally need for their living spaces, and most zoos fail to provide the space so animals like tigers can roam around freely. Animals are just like humans when it comes from emotion, and they show them by crying or sleeping all day. They get depressed and they get disturbed and frustrated, maybe harm each other, get ill, or go hungry, and 9 times out of 10 are forced to endure extreme, unnatural temperatures year long. However, have you ever looked inside a chimpanzee's enclosures and noticed like half the time you go there that they're sleeping in their enclosures? According to Animals Equality, Zoos, The Life of Animal Captivity, access on April 16th, 2020, states, animals in zoos are caged for life and deprived of the opportunity to develop and fulfill the full range of their needs and interests. Zookeepers and higher ups don't realize they take these animals from their natural habitats and lose control of their lives. Animals are often forced to live in the misery of solitary confinement. Most animals who prefer to live alone are forced to live with animals that come into holding with, or even with some predators, or even they get bullied by their peers in their cages. What's the best injured animals? What can be done to help these endangered species? Just because animals need treatment doesn't mean we need to keep them locked on display for entertainment. We discussed how injured animals are taken from the wild and are being kept in captivity in the zoos. Second, I have explained how zoo animals are suffering in insufficient living spaces. And lastly, I did discuss other options for zoos animals kept in captivity. The message zoos give us is sad and dangerous. We see animals exist on this planet for human entertainment, and we can stop supporting zoos by simply not attending them. So please keep in mind, within the prison of the walls of every zoo sit tortured souls with empty eyes and broken spirits. Thank you.